Okay, so recorded started. So thank you so much for accepting to be part of this interesting project. The idea is to discuss with clients who are purchasing Pernod Ricard products, and then to extract the best information out of this information, to understand what is the customer experience they are able to offer, what is already very good and what can be improved. This is the story. So what is the main products that you are buying from Pernod Ricard?
At the moment, I'm buying quite a lot of the Royal Salute whiskies, Parmar whiskies. Yeah, it's mainly whiskey at the moment.
Okay. When it was the first time that you ever considered to buy Royal Salute?
Back when I met Peter Prentice in India, and actually the very first experience that myself and my husband had was that we were bidding on a flask edition of the Royal Salute for a charity auction, and we won that, and that is the starting point. That was the spark that started the obsession. And so since then, we've been trying to curate or just a full collection, really, of the Royal Salute products. We're still on the journey, really. We're still collecting.
Okay, so if I were understood, you were in an event, and then Royal Salute was part of the event. It was maybe the sponsor or the partner, and this is where you met.
That's correct.
Okay, and so you won something, and then this is how you discovered so you met Peter, and then you discovered the world of Royal Salute. Oh, very interesting. So a nice discovery, I would say.
It was amazing, actually. We were so surprised. We'd drank Royal Salute previously at Guards Polo Club in the UK. So we'd been to many events where Royal Salute had been the sponsor. So we'd sampled the product. We'd tried it, we drank it, we enjoyed it, but nothing really made us buy it. We hadn't seen it outside. It was only until we went to India that we got more involved and actually won the flask edition. Yes.
So what really made you change your mind?
For me personally, it was the personal relationship. And clearly that started off with Peter's personality, his excitement for the product, his knowledge of the product. Not only in that moment when you're at an auction and you're bidding on it and you're excited, but he said, you've actually got a really nice thing here. And then we went on to go to Scotland, where you learn a little bit more about the product as well. You learn a little bit more about the heritage. So for me personally, it definitely started off with that relationship with Peter to start with.
Okay, and then so it means that you stay. When this event took place? Sorry.
2018, December, if I'm correct.
Okay, so you are in contact with him since quite a bit now.
Yes.
And so did you participate? Did he invite you to other events, for example?
Yes. So after India, we got invited to Clifton House as part of the British Polo Day events team. And so we'd started, we'd sampled some more whiskies there, and we'd gone to Scotland, to Lynn House at around about that time as well. And that just further cemented not only the friendship between ourselves and Peter, but with the brand as well. So we had seen that obviously not only was it whiskey, but it was gin, it was champagne, it was Perrier-Jouet, and all of the brands that come under the umbrella.
So it means that since that event, you started enjoying more regularly also other products belonging to the Pernod Ricard family.
Yes. So not only that, the gins, the champagne. Yes. So it was, the obsession started then.
Okay, I can follow the obsession for champagne, but I'm not a whiskey girl. Actually, I don't like it.
I didn't think I would like it. I didn't think up until that point I didn't care to drink whiskey. But since then, obviously, you start to get an education and you start to learn. Only then you can tell the subtle differences. You can appreciate that. You can appreciate the process. So yeah, I didn't think I was a whiskey drinker, but clearly I'm a converted now.
No, honestly, I tried, but I don't really like the taste.
Yeah.
So this is why. But what is interesting, so you mentioned that you got educated, so you know more about the product. Can you tell me, so did they help you in getting more knowledge about the products, or you did it by yourself because you were curious?
I am a very nosy person. I'm very curious about the world around me. I'm very curious about lots of things. So yes, it was own education. But then to take that education further when we were in Scotland, and I have to go back to Peter again because he's a brilliant teacher and educator. When we were in the Glenlivet, when we were in the distilleries and when we went to different places, you're taken on a little bit of a journey. So I'm a history nerd. I love history. I love to see how things came about. I love learning about, like I say, the world around me, different things. So when you're in that scenario, when you're in that area, I think it comes quite naturally that actually you want to learn a little bit more about it. You want to learn about the heritage of the brand, which then further cements how much that brand sticks in your mind, how much you associate yourself with it, and how much you stick with it then as well.
I see the point. And then, so what fascinates you the most about the Royal Absolute in its history?
Okay, so I just think there's so much history with it. So that ticks all of the boxes for me. I am a royalist. That is another tick for me. So I just think from the history of Royal Salute, right from way back when, and then being able to go into the cellar and being able to meet the people behind the scenes. I think there's so many layers, so many complexities that all of these things come together. And that's where you enjoy the brand and you stick with that brand, you form a relationship with that brand. So even when the Royal Salute, it's quite an expensive product, it's a luxury product, but once you have experienced it, you don't mind investing in it a little bit more. You don't mind acquiring all of the bottles in the collection, which is what I'm trying to do.
Because actually, mainly because of the quality, no, actually because of the everything. So you're mentioning several points. You're talking about the name. This is the first thing. So you said you're a royalist. So it means that the name for you resound in your mind.
Oh yeah,
So,
I mean the branding is absolutely spot on. The bottle is special. The velvet pouch is special. The popping of the everything about that is so luxurious and sublime. I mean, to open the bottle is an experience in itself. To have that first whiff of whiskey coming at you, it's an enjoyment. And so, and you don't get that with a lot of other whiskies, because there's a certain when you open the sound and you go. And it's a lovely ritual for me to open a fresh bottle.
I love the word ritual. Okay, so when you open these bottles, because you're talking about rituals, so when you do it, and with who?
Well, since the pandemic,
at home with your family. Okay.
There's only me and my husband. However, I have been able to enjoy whiskey in palaces in Jaipur and Jodhpur, and if I have my very, very ideal setting, it would be with friends at the end of an evening, just talking, and I dream for those days when we can all get back together again. But at the moment, it is just at home and it is just me and my husband. So yeah, that's how we enjoy it right now.
Mm-hmm. But despite of that, you're not renouncing to the ritual of opening a bottle just for you.
For myself,
Yeah.
I find I would do. I would find it very, very like a big treat if I were to just open it for myself. So I think that like you say, the ritual would be for me and my husband to share a drink right now. But clearly, when the world is back to normal, and maybe there might be an occasion where he's away for business or something like that, then I wouldn't have any qualms with opening a bottle for myself and being very indulgent about that.
Sometimes we need to indulge even by ourselves. I totally agree. And then before COVID, of course, did you buy whiskey for gifting for friends? Did you do that or not?
Let me think. Probably not. I have gifted champagne, I have gifted wine, but to be honest with you, you're right, never really whiskey at pre-COVID. But now I have a collection and now I know what I like. If I was going to somebody's home and I was going to take a gift, I would be more happier now and more comfortable to take them a bottle of whiskey to say, try this. I have tried it, I have loved it, and I'd be a bit more open to doing that now.
Okay, so you mentioned two interesting things here. So you would have gift more champagne. Why?
Just I think it's quite a traditional. I think it's just inbuilt in you, isn't it? When you're going to somebody's home, you don't want to go empty-handed. So for me personally, I'd probably just take, definitely champagne or definitely a bottle of wine, maybe red, probably red over white, but just because it's quite ingrained that you would take a bottle somewhere.
Okay. And then you said now you would like to, you may consider to bring a bottle of whiskey, and then you said because I tried, and then you want to share. Can you elaborate a bit more on that? Why this willingness?
Because I have been educated now. With me, you've probably guessed, I'm quite a chatterbox. And I do like talking about new things that people probably or maybe haven't experienced. I do like being the one to open the doors to new ideas, new products and things like that. So I think I've tried it and I would be happy to talk about it and let them know why I liked it and make sure they like it too.
Okay. No, this usually when we share something we like with people we love. Actually, because we want to share the feelings and not just the product per se. So
Yeah,
this
not
is one.
really just the product, but with whiskey especially, share that moment. So I said we would create as a friendship group maybe our own ritual. So I'm excited to go take a sniff because I've experienced that. I will pour. How do you like your water? It would generate a conversation. And I think you're right. It's not just the product, but it's the moment more as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I see. Another thing that you mentioned is that now you are a collector. Okay. Can you tell me something about your collecting story?
Well, it's a little bit out of hand. I have tried to source quite a bit of Royal Salute, which is in the collection. Every time I travel, I specifically look for Royal Salute or associated whiskies from the things that I have tried, the things in a certain collection. I will specifically buy Royal Salute whiskey. Definitely, whenever I'm in Heathrow, Birmingham which is my local airport, doesn't have a a big Royal Salute collection, so I don't normally buy it from there. When I've travelled internationally, I will buy Royal Salute if I see something for that region that has been produced specifically for that region. I will buy that. So I have bought recently the Chivas Brothers in the Japanese oak. I have never tried it, I've never experienced it, but because it was part of the brand family, I decided to look at the packaging. It was displayed wonderfully, and so I picked that up along with another three bottles I think I bought as well. So yes, I've got quite a collection now.
Okay, so actually it means that you look for some limited edition or special editions in duty-free areas.
Yeah, or just specialist whiskey shops, specialist online whiskey shops. Obviously, I've had a lot of time at home. I haven't, I work from home, I have my children at home, but I have had a lot of spare time at home. So yeah, I have bought from Selfridges, which is a department store over here. Yeah, just different places. I think you have more time just to use your phone to search for things. It's very easy. So not only duty free, but other stores as well.
And then why you have started collecting? Which actually it is not only for the pleasure to drink, but so collecting is something that goes a bit beyond.
Yes. So I like collecting a lot of things. So whiskey is in the most recent collection. And why did I start collecting? Oh, it kind of snowballed, really. So I am a fan. If I like something, I would like to buy 2 or 3 of the same item. One to enjoy, one to keep. And I think I've done that for whether it be different things like clothes and things like that. I've always had one to wear and one to keep for special or just an extra one. So the collection has essentially started like that, but I am still able to enjoy the first bottle and save the second bottle.
Okay, so you are not collecting as an investment.
It's not the first thing in my mind. I mean, if you were to ask my husband would say, yes, we're definitely looking at the long-term investment.
Okay.
But for me personally, it's just really about enjoyment of that time. And if it's a limited edition product and you do like it, what my fear is that I like it so much and I will never find it on the shelf again. I know if I've collected it, I have enough to satisfy myself.
Okay. I see. So you said that your husband would have said something different. So for investment, why not? Why he would have said that?
Because he's a bit more sensible than I am.
Because he's a man. No.
Not necessarily because he's a man, but because his mind works like that. His mind is always forward thinking, and this is where we're just yin and yang. I am for the moment. He is safe for the future. And I think that's how our relationship plays off, really.
It's based on in the perfect combination of two.
I think so.
Of two things. Yes, of course. And then may I ask if he is Indian as well?
Yes.
Okay. And what about collecting champagne? Are you also collecting other kind of spirits or not?
It's just whiskey. I do buy gin, I do buy champagne, but I don't normally keep it or collect it. I just enjoy it as I have it. If I knew more about provenance. It's something that I am actually intrigued about learning on. I don't feel like I know enough about it. I drink champagne, but I don't know anything about the process. I don't know anything about the houses in the Champagne area. So I feel like if I were to if it was another thing that I were to learn,
Mm-hmm.
then I'd probably take a bit more of an interest in collecting and knowing what to look out for.
Okay, so it means that you were never, so the Pernod Ricard world did, in general, did not invite you or your husband to attend other events to know more about other products.
But COVID started. So
Yeah, always COVID in between. Yeah, you're right.
so I'm sure had there have been any events, in fact, I probably would have been very forward and invited myself. So,
I want to go.
I'm coming.
Yes, as you're already informing, so I'm just coming. Okay.
Yes.
So it means that even before you never had the pleasure to visit the Reims region, so the Champagne region or other kind of.
In fact, actually, I did have an invitation to go to Laurent Perrier, but that was at the very cusp of COVID, so the trip was cancelled. So that's obviously at that same time when the whiskey collecting had started, the knowledge had started, and then it just kind of stopped. But I'm sure that whenever the world is back to normal and the borders are open and travel is a lot easier, I'm open to it. I'm happy to learn. I'm happy to know.
Okay, so it seems that so being educated about so become more knowledgeable is very important for you. This is very interesting.
I think so, because then I think you can make an informed decision. You can start a conversation. When you're in a circle of conversation, you don't say, I like it just because I like it. You can be a bit more
informed.
This is it, yeah, just a bit more to say about it. I like it because of this. I like it because of that. You have a bit more of a rounded knowledge then.
Okay. And another question I wanted to ask, that it came from you mentioned, what kind of, because actually information are always coming from meetings, from events, because actually sometimes there are this edutainment, so these events where customers are can explore the world of a country, a brand. Do you recall any, even from other brands, any specific event like this that really flattered you and that remained in your memory?
I have a memory of a wine brand in America called Verity, but I actually remember it for all of the wrong reasons, because it was a very small dinner party, and the owners of the vineyard, there was a mother and a son, and the son had taken over the wine tasting. And so we were just about to reach for the first red wine. And he said, the complexities of the wine will be far too much for you to understand, so I don't expect you to understand it. And he was quite derogatory. So the wine was actually, the product was beautiful, the product was lovely, but because the synergy was not there with the person who was representing the brand, sometimes you've got to think, is that somebody's personality? Is it their humour? But I didn't get the humour, and I thought, oh, what a weird thing to say. So that is memorable, but for the wrong reasons.
Wow. Yes, actually, maybe it can be even the famous British humor, but it went a bit too far.
Well, they were Americans, so they
weren't.
weren't.
Not even, okay, so okay, not even. Okay, so yes, you're right. You can't remember. We can remember even bad experiences like this. Okay.
What I will say is that the marriage of that product is that if I ever see Verity wines now, I will still remember that I enjoy it. I will still think, oh, I really enjoyed that, the meal. I enjoyed the company of the guests. And then I'll always remember what he said, and then I think, no.
Okay, you're right. So you see, you're when you're talking about an event, you're using different, you're including different aspects in your memories. So the people, so the guest, the other guests, so the environment, the product, of course, and then the ambassador. Do you think that Pernod Ricard, and then in this case, the Pernod Ricard word per se, is very good in that, or if there are some room for improvement, you would, improve, change?
So with regards to Pernod Ricard, I can talk about Royal Salute because that's where my spotlight and my focus has been. With regards to education, I think it's been one of the best learning curves I have ever been on. Not in such a classroom learning environment, just completely organic, having a conversation, walking through the distillery. This is what happens here. This makes this. This is what happens there. And like I said, over the COVID period, because of the looking out specifically for the brand, I have watched events on Instagram. I have watched events on Zoom. I have taken part in whiskey tastings. I've got to know this whole little whiskey community on social media. So the reach has gone far beyond Peter now. The reach is obviously with Sandy Hislop, the master blender, because I follow him on Instagram now. Different people who are all connected with regards to the whiskey. It kind of forms a little spider web out, so your knowledge is, your reach is more. I feel like it's actually been so lovely, so amazing. I just wish that there was more of it, really. I wish it happened.
We will be back to a new normality, I'm sure of that. And did you had, so except the wine guy with the American one, but did you had other, are you treated in such a good way by other brands?
Am I pampered by other brands? I would have to say I am to an extent.
What's the extent?
So for jewelry wise, I particularly like Cartier, and their brand ambassadors and the lady who is my connect at the store over COVID sent me little cards to make sure I was okay. Sent me little literature is a massive passion of mine, so she sent me a bookmark. So something quite thoughtful would connect you. So even though now my connect at Cartier has left, I would still go back to the brand and buy more, just because I think that those little personal touches are quite sweet and they're quite nice. But it doesn't really stop me from being introduced to it. I don't need to be mollycoddled. I don't need to be pampered. If I like it, I will like it regardless.
Okay. Regardless. Okay. Because why regardless? Can you elaborate a bit more on that?
Because I think I'm quite straight. If I like it, I would like it regardless of the price point, regardless of whether it's a luxury product or not, regardless of however it's envisaged. If I like it, I will like it. So I don't need to be. It's lovely when it happens. It's lovely when brand ambassadors have a relationship with you. That is lovely. But it doesn't stop me from liking things and buying things where I have no relationship with anybody at the company.
Okay, but if you have a negative experience with the brand, so even if you like the brand, if you like the product, but the ambassador is not nice, would you go ahead in purchasing, or you would stop purchasing?
I have had a bad experience, but I think that it wouldn't necessarily stop me if I saw Verity wine and I wanted to buy it right there and then, it wouldn't stop me from purchasing that wine. Even when he made that comment, it wouldn't. I remember that product. I remember drinking it. I know what I like. So if I saw it to buy it, I would buy it.
Okay, okay, I see. Va bene. Before you mentioned something about talking about purchasing, the origin of the product. So you mentioned that I assume that is an important aspect for when you purchase certain products. Can you tell me something more about it, the country of origin?
Probably just the provenance of the product, just to know. I like to know where things are made, where things are from, the hands. I like to know about the hands that have made the product. I think that's probably, I'm not sure if that's just me who gets interested by those things. So yes, the heritage and the background story, it all makes into a long-lasting relationship and an ongoing relationship with a brand as well. Okay,
but the provenance is, so do you mind if a product comes from, for example, I'm in contact with, okay, it is not called whiskey, but I'm in contact with a brand that is producing whiskey in US. Actually, they call it whiskey and not Scotch. But but would you buy a product, a whiskey from another region?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
But
okay.
I would buy it, but I would need to. Either I would need to know about it first, or I would buy it and then I would learn about it after. But I would buy, yeah, if there was something in America that I wanted, then yes, I would. And yes, they do call it whiskey. They don't call it Scotch.
Yeah. No, but because sometimes the origin of the product. So if you buy a perfume, you expect that the perfume comes from a specific region. So usually perfumes are made in France. So because France is the most famous place for perfume production. So are you interested in the provenance from this point, from this perspective, on the provenance of the product or not?
I'm interested in it, but it wouldn't stop me from buying.
It wouldn't stop. Okay, so interested but not, so it doesn't represent, okay, but it. Do you follow any other specific purchasing interest when you choose one product instead of another one? There are other rules or things, features that you're really looking for when you buy.
Do you mean like the packaging?
A wine, for example, yeah, you mentioned packaging. You didn't want to, I cannot mention anything, so I'm interested in what you would say.
Oh, I'm not sure, because I am quite a magpie, so I do like things to look beautiful. And maybe different to the norm. So maybe something with regards to either the packaging of the bottle or the bottle itself. If something were maybe quirky about that, then yes, I might be more tempted to buy that. I always find, and my husband picks this up, if something says limited edition, that always makes my ears prick up, because I think, ooh, that's nice. But yeah, I don't think the packaging is the be all and end all, but I'm not too sure what the other options are. Price point, I'm not sure if the price point would stop me from buying anything I wanted. I don't really know what else.
Okay, so not really packaging, no pricing. So packaging, yes, but no. So price, not really, I assume. Okay, no, this is the most important. So there are no right or wrong answers. There are just your answers. This is what I'm interested in. Is there anything else I need to know about the relationship you have with this brand that you would like to change?
With Royal Salute, no, I would just like to know more. I would just like to get to know more, like to get to know about new products when they're launched. I just think that the people who you have really humanize the whole brand. I think that is, it's not important at the beginning, but it becomes important over time, because that's the thing that connects you and keeps you connected as well.
Yeah. And okay. And so you would not really change anything if you are in the power to do that?
Not at the moment, I don't think so.
Good.
I think I'd like to change anything.
So Peter did a very good job. Well,
oh, he's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I met him only once, and then I agree with you. And but are you purchasing directly from Pernod Ricard? So are you asking for, I don't know, a specific cast or a limited edition? Did you do that, or do you always pass by, wholesalers or the retailers? Sorry.
My preference is to buy straight from the brand. But on some occasions, the things that I've wanted have either become out of stock, or like I said, if something has become limited and they're out of stock, I have purchased it elsewhere, such as Selfridges, such as the department store. But it's my first preference to go to the distillery and see have the product there. I just think it cuts out so many things, and you can just go straight there and buy it. It's so simple.
Okay, no, but because the thing is, usually, the most of the cases, the wines and spirits business is typically a B2B business. It's not a direct business. Very rarely you can go to the vineyard and buy something you like. Okay, so this is why I'm asking if you see. So if you would like to have a more direct relationship with the brand, and then if yes, for what? Because actually in some places is it possible to do, but we're trying to understand what customers think.
I believe I already have a very direct relationship with the brand. If I want anything from Royal Salute, I know that I can call Jenna. She's a lovely person. I know if I want to order anything from Glenlivet, I will call Ricky because he's my contact there. So I believe that for me personally, I already have those direct things. Or I will talk to Peter and I will say, look, I'm looking for this. So I understand that as a company, you're probably selling to wholesalers and stockists, not the individual. So I feel like that's probably what makes it even more special, that you can bypass retailers and you can just go directly to the brand and say, hello, I'm after XYZ.
Yeah, good. This is exactly what I was looking for. Yes. Okay. Good point. Okay, I think we made a big tour around the experience you have with Pernod Ricard. I don't know if there is anything else that you want to add.
No, this has been quite an enjoyable experience, really. I have never really spoken about my collecting habits.
But sometimes there are some people we're talking with who we plan 30 minutes sometimes, and then they spend 1 hour, and then they bring the husband or the wife in, and then actually, because as I said, it's not really an interview, it's just a conversation, because we want to, this is the best way to get your experiences. So thank you for that. Thank you for your time. I have only a last question for you.
Yeah.
What is the real meaning of luxury for you? If it really means something for you?
I think it does mean something, because I wasn't born into any kind of wealth. So I think to have, I know that luxury means a lot of things to a lot of people, but I think that for me, if something is quite luxurious and special, it's probably more special for me because I never had it to grow up with. So there is a sense of just a small sense of like a little achievement, a little tick box that something has gone good in the day, that I have worked hard, that I've worked well. So I do have that equation where nice things is purely from hard work. So I'm glad when I can have nice things.
From your hard work, coming out from your hard work.
Yes. back.
It's a kind of privilege.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, it's
Okay.
that's probably the right word for it as well, actually.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, thank you for your time, for your passion.
I've got a question before we finish. What do you do with your findings?
Okay. So we are talking with people from all over the world. From East, now the next chapter will be Brazil. And then also about different products, so not just whiskey, but also champagne or wines. So the idea is to help Pernod Ricard in improving their B2C experience for their VIP clients. So, and then the best way to do that is to talk to you and then collect, not through a survey, but through a real conversation, your emotions, your feelings. That it's something that cannot really come up from a survey. So we are collecting this. So we have to speak with 30 guests, and then we will so we are researchers. And so what we will do, we will analyze this conversation. Technically, what you are doing, we are trying to look at the common themes that emerge from all of you, and then to see what is really relevant for their customers. So what is very good already, what can be improved, new ideas. And so then we will give them this report back to Pernod Ricard, and then they will transform the information into a strategy. This is the real process. What we will do, we will come back to all dear participants as you, and then we will share with you our findings.
Oh, amazing.
So we will send what we call an executive summary. So is of course, if not the full research, but it is at least a glimpse of what we have taken from all the interviews we had with you, but also with the private with people like Peter, for example, because we spoke with Thailand, Hong Kong, China, then Brazil, Russia. So we're in contact with all over the world, with the people from all over the world.
Huge markets in the Far East as well. So
yes, but they are less talkative.
Oh,
talking with Asian people is not really easy. So because take information out from them is not an easy task. We love doing that, but they're a bit skeptical. The face thing that come up. So dealing with different cultures is super interesting, but sometimes it's not easy for it. Not just for us, but also for them.
Yeah, so, it's challenging on both sides.
Absolutely. But this is more the rules. We're the midway of the process, and so we hope by the end of June being able to provide this information. From a research point of view, we'll also write a real case, but that is absolutely anonymized, of course. But we are in order to teach young generations, students, how to build a winning luxury strategy with VIP clients.
Okay.
Because we are also doing the same research with yacht owners, people who travel with private jet, art collectors, watch collectors, and car collectors.
Okay.
So we are the only researchers, me and my colleague, who are doing that in the entire world. So.
Well, if you need a car collector, that's definitely my husband, because he might say something about my whiskey collecting, but he is out of control when it comes to car collecting.
Okay, I would love to have a conversation with him, with pleasure. So I will send you a text.
Yeah, he would absolutely love that as well. He's definitely a supercar collector.
Good. So if you don't mind, so I will contact you back, and then if you can, when we will start the car collecting chapter, because actually is one by one. But thank you so much. I would love.
That's fine. No, anytime.
Good. So thank you so much for your time once again. And then if you need anything else from us, so do not hesitate. And then
the time has gone so quickly, actually. I just looked at my watch.
Yeah.
It's so easy to speak to you. It's been so easy to speak about how much I love Royal Salute. Definite fan now.
Good. So enjoy your whiskey for tonight.
Thank you. I will do.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.